Hello, oh, this is a bad microphone.
First things first, I have never made a video on a book before, and I've never done a book review before. To be honest, I've never been really interested in reading any kind of book. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, I went through the bookshelf inside of my house just to look through the books, and I found this book called Atomic Habits. This is the most interesting book and the best book that I've ever read. Yeah, this is the only book that I've ever read in my entire life, because I don't really enjoy reading books, that I've actually really enjoyed. And the reason why I'm talking about this book in particular is because I feel like it's very important to read and to share out with other people. But the best part about the book is that it's about self-improvement. It tells you how to build habits and how to get rid of bad habits. And the thing about self-improvement is it isn't just for yourself, it also benefits other people as well. You're becoming a better person for yourself and for other people, and because of that, people will admire you and look up to you. Now, if you don't want me to spoil anything, I recommend pausing the video and getting the book for yourself. I have no idea how much it costs. If I had to guess, maybe like $20 to $40. I just found it in a bookshelf. And before I get into spoilers again, I just want to say
This video is not sponsored.
really, this video is not sponsored. I just really enjoy reading the book, and I feel like it's really important to share out to other people. Now, I'm going to get into spoilers. I mainly want to get really important key points and tell you guys about the really important key points in this book. I'm not going to go over everything because that's going to be like an hour-long video, but I'm just going to go over the ones that I find most important. Again, probably not all of them. I actually wrote down a lot of notes inside of my journal. So I'm going to be like, I'm going to be taking a lot of the key points that I got from the journal, because from the journal, I just wrote down the most important key points from each chapter of the book. First things first, the book states that there are 4 laws to building a good habit. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Those are the 4 laws of building a good habit. Following all of these laws, or just even one of these, will go a long way in building a good habit. I'll get into these laws in a little bit. Most people believe that creating a good habit and following it will make them get better at it linearly. But in reality, it increases exponentially. So you start off slow, but the more you practice it, the better you'll get. And at some point, you'll start rising a lot faster, rather than expectations, which is just linearly, where you're gonna get better at it every single day. The space in between reality and the expectations is called the valley of disappointment. And this is where most people give up because they see or feel no progress. A good way to follow a habit is to work on your system rather than the goal. Your goal is to become a better boxer, right? That's your goal. So your habit will be to box every day. That could be your system, to go outside and box for 30 minutes every day. That could be your system. But you could also change your system to make it even better. So you can make small tweaks in it that'll make you even better than you were previously. An example of this is, if your goal is to become more fit, how are you going to get there, and what are you going to do? You can say that for pretty much anything, you know? For this, you can set up a reliable workout routine, which is going to be your system, and the goal is you're going to become more fit. Now, the book says the most effective way to change your habit is to focus on who you wish to become, and that your identity emerges from your habits. I'm gonna talk about boxing again. If you have a habit for boxing every day, you could identify yourself as a boxer. Or if you go out and have boxing lessons, you could still consider yourself a boxer. Or if you play Fortnite for 13 hours a day, you could identify as someone who doesn't touch grass. I feel like such a hypocrite. Now, there are different stages that every single habit goes through, 4 in total. So the order is cue, craving, response, and reward. Every single habit goes through these 4 stages, in the exact same order as well. So, as an example, you see an advertisement for a mobile ad for Hello Kitty Cafe. That is a cue. Now, you need to play Hello Kitty Cafe. That is a craving. You download Hello Kitty Cafe. That's the response. And you play Hello Kitty Cafe. That's the reward.
What?
Now, even bad habits go through the same 4 stages, and the way we control those bad habits is with awareness. Inside of the book, it recommends you to make a list of every daily habit we have. And after we make a whole list of what we do in a day, we put a plus for positive habits, negative for bad habits, and an equal sign for neutral habits, or habits that don't really affect us in a positive or negative way. So it's just there. Like, for example, you brush your teeth. That could be a positive. You smoke crack. You look on your phone for like 30 minutes instead of getting ready for work. That could be a negative. Or you make yourself food. That could be a positive. And marking habits this way either makes the habit look appealing or unappealing, which is the second law in building a habit. Another way to make yourself commit to a habit is by saying, I will do this at this time in this place. And saying this to yourself is scientifically proven to make you have a higher chance of committing the habit that you told yourself to do. I was a little confused while reading this because why is it important to say the time and location? Well, it's because those two are the most common cues. And it makes sense because, as an example, when I go to the gym, it's a cue to work out. Obviously, like you're not going to go to the gym and then you're just not going to work out. And then when it's 9 o'clock p.m., I work out, right? I have an alarm on my phone. When it reaches 9 o'clock, I stop the alarm and then go to my room. To be fair though, that's probably not a good idea to work out at 9 o'clock. But one of the most important factors to building a new habit or a good habit is by changing your environment. If you have an environment that has cues that lead to bad habits, change your environment. Like for an example, before you go to bed, you watch an hour or two of television. You should change your environment so you move the television out of your room into a different place. So when you go to your room to go to bed, your TV isn't there, so you can't watch television. And you also want to make good habits more obvious in your environment, which is a first law in building habits. I'm going to reference boxing again. If you want to go outside the box, the first thing when you come home, you could walk through the front door, and near the front door, maybe on a table or something, you'll see boxing gloves. So that'll incentivize you to go out to box because it's obvious. The boxing gloves are right there. Now, going into the second law of habit building is making it appealing. Habits become appealing when people associate them to positives. As an example, the habit of boxing could help with being active and fit. Those are both positives. No one's gonna think of it like a negative unless you're a fat acceptance person. So for habits becoming automatic, everyone has automatic habits. Waking up, brushing your teeth, putting your socks on, those are all automatic. You don't think about it, but those are habits that you've built that become automatic over time. To make a habit automatic, you just have to do it enough times and make it easy. Like, how hard is it to put on your socks, you know? That brings me to the third law already, which is to make it easy. And the best way to make a habit easy is to reduce friction with your habit. And the best way to reduce friction is, again, to change your environment. An example of this that other people have used is to reset your room when you leave it. So when you come back, it's easy to commit those habits in that room again. Just as easy. Like, for example, if you're lifting weights, you go into your room, right? You take out your dumbbells, you do some dumbbell curls, you get a workout in, and then when you're done, you put those dumbbells back, you don't leave it on the floor, you put them back to where they go, and you clean up your room to how it was before you entered it. So it's just as easy when you walk back in to work out again. And the inverse to this law is to make it difficult. Make the habit more manual than automatic. For example, and this probably isn't the best example, if you're trying to cut back on junk food and you have an automatic shipment of junk food, then cancel that automatic shipment for that junk food. It's probably not the best example because I don't know if many places do that. Now, the fourth law is to make the habit satisfying. You are more likely to repeat an action if it's satisfying. There is a problem though. Habits that aren't immediately satisfying are usually avoided. And as an example, if you work out for 30 minutes, it might not seem like you're making progress, so you might quit working out. For a habit to last though, it needs to be satisfying. So instead of thinking about immediate rewards, think about the rewards that you'll get the more times you'll commit to the action. You're gonna work out once and you're gonna be like, I don't feel satisfied. It looks like I didn't do anything, but you did. Just keep doing it, and then eventually you'll see progress. Very fit people didn't get to where they are in a 30-minute exercise in a single day. They did it consistently. Now, there's a really good way to build a habit that I actually use, and it includes 3 out of 4 laws, which is make it obvious, make it appealing, and make it satisfying. And that is called habit tracking. It's pretty much a visualizer of how much progress you've made since you started the habit. It motivates you as well because you can see how much progress you're actually making. It also feels satisfying because you're recording a successful habit. This actually helped me out a lot with boxing because every time I would go out to box, I would move a marble from one jar to another so I could track how much progress I've made. I don't know how many videos ago I did this. I have a jar with marbles in it, right? It's on my desk too because it's right there. It's obvious, right? I go to my desk like every single day and I just see this, so it incentivizes me to go out to box. And then this, I did this recently, so there's not that many marbles in it. It's obvious too because it's on my desk and I go here every day. And then it's guarded by a penguin. So you could do the same thing. You could get 2 jars, fill one jar up with marbles, leave the other one empty, and every time you complete a successful habit, move 1 marble from one jar into the other jar. An example of someone using this in person is I'm playing Fortnite, right? I'm playing Fortnite and this jar is empty, right? I don't want it to be empty. And the only way I can move a marble from this jar to the other jar is if I get a victory royale, right? So I'm grinding Fortnite and I look over, the jar is speaking to me, right? They're speaking to me and they're whispering, Logan, you need to get a victory royale. So I lock in, I start cranking 90s, edit course, 1 pump, 200 pump, 200 victory royale. Biggest dopamine hit of my entire life, and even bigger because now I can move a marble from one jar to the other jar. Because I did that, is going to incentivize me to play Fortnite more and to build a habit of playing Fortnite and grinding victory royales. But it's not going to work for everyone. If habit tracking isn't automatic for you, it probably won't work. And it'll be better if you don't have the habit tracking because you don't want the tracking to become manual. You want it to become more automatic. Now, another good way to keep a habit rolling is habit contracts. Every time I don't upload a video every week, I punish myself by giving away 10,000 Robux. I should do that. Every week I miss, I give someone 10,000 Robux. Habit contracts are basically if you don't commit to a habit at that time of day, you'll be punished. And you can punish yourself by not following a habit by giving someone money, turning off the Wi-Fi, or paying a visit to Venezuela. And punishing yourself makes you learn quickly to do the habit so you won't get punished again. But if it feels like you're forced to do a habit that you really don't want to do, then you probably shouldn't do that habit. Unless you need to do it. Like if you don't make a grilled cheese sandwich every single day, then your punishment will be running outside butt naked. And with habit contracts, you can get an accountability partner so they'll watch over you. And if you don't do the habit and they watch you not do the habit, then they'll do the punishment for you. They'll give your money to someone else. Having someone watch over your habits motivates you as well. It motivates you a lot. Like in the gym, when you're deadlifting, you have a whole crowd around you. Obviously, you're going to push harder because you don't want to let everyone around you down. Another example of this is being the last one in my squad alive in Fortnite motivates me to win the game. I have to stop referencing Fortnite. Another good way to keep a habit satisfying is to keep the habit just manageable. The habit shouldn't be too easy and the habit shouldn't be too hard. That goes for a lot of things, but not most things. Like brushing your teeth, like it should be easy, right? Like it shouldn't be like super hard to brush your teeth, you know? Some things you just want to make it just manageable so it's not boring. If you have a habit of playing tennis, then you don't want to go against someone that's like really below your skill level. We also don't want to go against someone that's like way above your skill level because in both circumstances, it's going to get boring and you're going to fall out of interest with it. So you just want to make it just manageable. However, there are upsides and downsides to habits. The upside is that tasks become automatic. And if you're building good habits, that just helps you in general. But the downside is sometimes it becomes so automatic that you stop paying attention to smaller errors. You want to keep improving your habits by not just by getting better at it, but by looking at small errors that you could fix. That could also go a long way. So each time you build a habit, you never want to just stop there. You always want to keep improving. You always want to correct your mistakes. You know, that'll just help you get better in general in your habit. Another thing to keep in mind is when you build a habit and revolve your whole identity to that habit. What's going to happen when you lose that habit? When you revolve your entire identity around that one single thing? You lose everything. So whenever you do lose your major role, your major habit that created your identity in the first place, you want to keep your most important aspects about that role. Like for example, if you're a pro Fortnite gamer, if you're an athlete, you're someone who is tough and enjoys challenges. Those are just a couple of important ideas that came from this amazing book. There are so many lessons and ideas from this book that could, I'm not even kidding, genuinely change your life. This is easily the best book that I've ever read so far in my entire life. I just thought I'd share this book because I really believe it's important to read yourself and to share with other people so you and other people could go on the journey of self-improvement. Again, just want to say this is not sponsored at all. I was not asked by the author to make this video, but I just wanted to say that this book is just really good and you should really definitely give this book a read. So that's about it. Peace.